Athletic Black L Awards. It is a pleasure to be standing up here representing Liberty Athletics and our student athletes. Can we please all rise for the pledge? I pledge allegiance. As I said, welcome everybody. Thank you for coming. When I took over as the athletic director, it was in the throes of the winter season, and I was quite unsure where to start. There are a few people I would like to thank that helped me transition into this role. First and foremost, Mr. Adams. I was unsure if I wanted to take on this role. Your support and championing of me is something I'll never forget. Thank you for always being available when I have no clue what to do, giving up so much of your free time needed to run our building, and your constant support. It truly means the world. I would also like to thank Dr. Sullivan, Ms. Brunger, and the Board of Education for trusting that I can do this job. It really means a lot to have that kind of support. I'd also like to thank our office staff, Mrs. Arpino, Ms. Antillo, Ms. Courtwright, Ms. Woolard, Rodney Assey, and Crystal Kirshner, who made all of our certificates and our program tonight. She was very helpful to me in that. I'm very grateful for their patience and support of me, teaching me and helping me through this new position. To our buildings and grounds crew, nothing gets done without you here, and I appreciate all your hard work, and I look forward to continuing to work with you. Are any of you here? I asked them to come. Are any of the buildings and grounds crew here? All right, well, they deserve a round of applause if they were here. We would do so. To our student athletes, thank you for your hard work, your commitment, and your dedication. I find it amazing that regardless of your team situation, you all show up every day, work on your skills, and commit to your team. It is in the losing that can show true character. It is how you carry yourselves through the wins that can also show true character. You have proven to be quality student athletes. Whether you are a senior, a freshman just starting out, or anywhere in between, you will always look back on these years and be grateful you chose to be an athlete. Be proud of your efforts and take what you have learned through your participation in sports and carry that in all you do. I'm very proud of you all. To the parents and guardians of our student athletes, I have 2 young boys who are active in sports, and I know the time and dedication it takes to allow your child to be an athlete. Thank you for your dedication and commitment to our programs, and to the student athletes, make sure you thank your people. They're very important. Finally, to the coaches. This is my opportunity to thank you all at once. People often look to the athletic director as the one who runs the sports programs, but it is you who put in all the hard work. It is you who demonstrates the dedication and commitment to your programs. It is you who give up the countless hours of time you could be with your families or doing other things you love. It is you who set the example. I was a coach myself, and I know what it takes to be a successful coach. I cannot stress enough that a successful coach is not solely reflected in wins and losses. A successful coach is committed, knowledgeable about their sport, have a general love for their sport, and among so many other things, provide their athletes with the opportunity for learning and growing. While some of our programs are still working on the wins, we have a great foundation of dedicated coaches. I feel it is important for our student athletes and their families in this room to recognize what it takes to be a coach. Can we please give all of our coaches sitting on the stage a round of applause? Okay, so before we begin recognizing our athletes, I would like to call up the coaches of the teams that earned Scholar Athlete recognition. And then when the students are recognized within their sport, they will, those students that earn above a 90 average when they're in their sports season will earn their Scholar Athlete pin. So the students will be given their pin at that time. But I will give the coaches their certificates right now. And you can, coaches, come up and grab that, please, and stand on stage. So we have the girls basketball team, Coach Duretsky. The girls indoor track and field team, Coach Feeney. The boys indoor track and field team with Coach Bressler. The boys golf team with Coach Deal and Coach Fuentes. The girls golf team with Coach Wilhelm and Coach Henry. The boys outdoor track and field team with Coach Bressler. The girls outdoor track and field team again with Coach Feeney. The baseball team with Coach Frankie. And the softball team with Coach Phillips. And just a side note, the whole entire girls softball team had above a 90 average for the third working period. And also our girls soccer team, I was not in this position at that time. I do not have their certificate, but they are also, the girls soccer team is also a scholar athlete team. So to be a scholar athlete, the team, 70% of the team needs to have a 90 or above average for the marking period that they spend the most time in during that season. And then any student that earned above a 90 will also receive a pin. Okay? So congratulations to you all. It's very important. Student athlete, student comes first. Remember that. All right, on with the show. We are going to recognize each program in order of season. We'll call the coaches, we'll call up the JV and varsity athletes, give them their certificates, give them the special recognition that they deserve, and we'll go through the season like that. One program note in the program, it's flip-flop. We're going to start with the fall. And we also forgot cross-country, which is coached by Coach Bressler, and I'm so sorry about that. I was once a cross-country coach, and I don't know what happened there. All right, on with the show. So let's go with Mr. Bressler, and the cross-country team will go first.
That's a perk. When you get forgotten on the program, you get to go first. So cross-country, like all four sports, all fall sports, starts sometime in August. We began with 4 male runners and no girls running. We picked up another boy along the way. We ran some of the early meets with an incomplete team. That's not good, but cross country is one of those sports where you can score as a team, but you can also have individual performances. We defeated during the season Fallsburg and Seward, and had many individual successes at invitational meets at, just to give you an idea of where we go, Shenango Valley State Park, which was the site of the state meet, to Marathon up near Portland, and to Bowdoin Park, which is a very difficult course where the Federation meet is run. In the Class C Section 9 meet, we finished 6th overall at Bear Mountain. The members of the team who are here, please come up. Braden Clark, Gabe DeRochers, Tanner Ferguson, Wayne Kratz, and Connor Williams. Coach's Award goes to a runner who who is actually an excellent sprinter, a sprint specialist, but also excels at cross country. So you give me an idea, sprints are 100 and 200. Cross country is 5K, 5,000, 3 miles. This runner is always tries to do works his hardest and always tries to do his best, considering what is best for the team. The Coach's Award goes to Wayne Kratz. The Most Outstanding Runner Award goes to a runner that always did his best, despite any adversity put in his way. He led Liberty in all but one meet in the Section 9 Class C meet. I don't mean to rub it in, but he was one place away from going to states. Gabe DeRochers.
Hi, I'm Coach Simpson, this is Coach Hammond. We would like to first call up the JV boys soccer team. Anyone that's here that's on JV boys soccer. Well, that was easy. Jackson Bustillo, Carlos Campos Castro, Jose Campoverde, Kevin Cando, Leroy Davis III, Christopher Daras, James Duretsky, Angel Espinosa, Dylan Fink, Joseph Metz, Eric Morales, David Phillips, Jefferson Pineda, Jeremy Simon, Mason Smith, Riley Totten, Kelvin Turcos Mejia, Ben Valadares, and Ben Visconti. Coach Siegel could not be here today. He's actually working in Pennsylvania today and could not get here in time. We want to thank him, first of all, for taking over our program literally after we had started, and in record time, getting all the certifications needed in order to be on the field and coach these guys. They did not have a lot of local play because so many JV teams had folded. Clearly, that's not our problem. We had 21 guys on the JV team, which also meant that they had to play teams like Cornwall, and who else did you guys play? Oh, Goshen, yeah. And their varsity program is ranked 6th in the state. So, clearly they were playing against really hard competition. And as the time went on, they got to be a very cohesive unit, and they were actually giving these large schools a run for their money. So we congratulate them all. Now we'd like to call up the boys' varsity soccer team, please. And in the meantime, I'd also like to say that we really want to thank Coach Feeney, who is our modified coach. He did a great job with our younger players. He's here to help us tonight. Members of the boys' varsity soccer team: Norlis Acosta, Brian Bahana, Yosevin Canales, Dennis Cardenas, Gabe Castillo, Logan Danzillo, Aldo Garcia, Eliel Lima, Anthony Yagarima, Jake Luna, Dylan Nichols, Anthony Osorio, Luis Paz, Chase Reset, Juan Romero, Eduardo Romero, Oscar Romero, not all brothers, Edison Ruiz, Casper Sandaluski, Denilson Turkios Mejia, and Derek Wheeler. As As they get their awards, I just want to give a brief synopsis of our season. So in the fall of 2021, we were finally able to have a near normal season, even though we played under COVID restrictions. The boys compiled a 12-0-1 overall record and a 5-0-1 division record, finally earning an OCIA Class B division championship. After beating Red Hook 5-1 at home in a quarterfinal semi-game, we then traveled to our arch nemesis, Spackenkill, where unfortunately we lost 2-1 in the semifinal to conclude our season. This was the first team in Liberty history to record a full season division win. Our prior season, which was shortened because of COVID, they also won, but it wasn't counted. A banner was presented to the team this spring. Usaven, Canales, and Chase were named to the Section 9 Class B Coaches All-Star Team after the season. Chase was also named to the All-Section Team. In addition, Chase was named to the Varsity 845 Second Team and Usaven to the Honorable Mention Team. Seniors were Chase, Usaven, Dennis Cardenas, Eduardo Romero, Juan Romero, Casper Sandaluski, Gabe Castillo, and Edison Ruiz. Juniors, Norlis Acosta, Brian Bahana, Anthony Yargo Rima, Chocho, Elia Lima, Dylan Nichols, Anthony Osario, Luis Paz, Oscar Romero, Denelson Turcos, and Derek Wheeler. And we had sophomores, Logan Danzillo, Aldo Garcia, and Jake Luna to round out the team. With 11 returning players and a host of talented underclassmen ready to take on new ranks, Liberty looks to continue to be a strong presence in Section 9 in the future. This team's exceptional play, as well as their respect for other teams and coaches, has earned them recognition throughout all levels of Section 9. They are becoming ambassadors of sport and of Liberty, and we could not be prouder of the accomplishments that they have attained. Congratulations. Our Offensive Player of the Year. Our offensive player compiled an amazing 26 goals and 14 assists during the season. He had a nose for the goal after dribbling through defenders with one goal in mind, scoring. When he was happy, the whole team was scoring. Usaven Canales is our Offensive Player of the Year. The Defensive Player of the Year stepped in to fill a void left due to graduation. While not initially comfortable transitioning into that position as defensive center back, he worked hard, responded well to coaching, and learned all the nuances of the position. He was able to provide the needed speed, strength, and control of the defensive line to make the team the success they were. Additionally, he had a goal and an assist, 4 goals and an assist on the season. Dennis Cardenas Reyes is our Defensive Player of the Year. He's at work. Our Coach Award goes to a guy who does it all. He's able to comfortably play defense, play in the midfield, play offensive wing. Where there's a need, he goes there. He's willing to do whatever it takes and always for the team. He has an easygoing manner, yet is an intense competitor. He's a team player and a vital part of this team's success. Only a junior, we look forward to watching him grow more and do great things in the next year. With 15 goals and 5 assists in the season, the outlook is definitely positive. Luis Paz gets our coaching award. Most valuable players. While this is generally not an award that is given to more than one player on a team, this team and this year have proven to be the exception, as without one of these players, the other would not have had the success he did, and vice versa. Our most valuable players are Chase Reset and Eduardo Romero. Both exceptional seniors were captains and leaders. On the defensive side of the ball, Eduardo capped his high school career in goal by making 72 saves in 16 games, while also adding an offensive assist. His control of the backfield, his ability to judge a ball, and his diving skills were an integral part of the team's success. Chase was our man in the offensive side of the ball, though he was equally adept in a defensive role. His patience and control in front of the net resulted in 15 goals, 13 assists, demonstrating his ability to shield, then distribute to open players, as well as to turn and score. In pivotal games, after we had a goal advantage, Chase would then move to the back to add strength to the defensive midfield in order to secure the win. Both boys have represented Liberty at the highest level all season, and we are proud to give them our MVP awards. Girls soccer is next.
Hello, we are Ann Ramos, Harper Ramos, and Ruth and Medina, the girls soccer coaches. Together with Coach Denny Cruz, we would like to express our gratitude to our parents, Mrs. Alvord, and the administration for all of your support and encouragement. Will the members of the junior varsity and varsity girls soccer teams please take the stage? We would like to award certificates to our JV soccer players first. Emilda Aguilar Reyes, Quinn Allen, Wendy Chabla, Caitlin Boldowski, Yuridia Cristina Lopez, Haley Gomez, Sandra Hanafi, Maite Morales Romero, Natalia Parache, Megan Schmidt, Elena Luis Ramirez, and Sonia Sarita. Oh, and Angela Wheeler. That's our JV soccer team. I would like to award certificates and pins to our varsity soccer team, Shayla Anguisaca Lanos, Alejandra Barquero Lopez, Wendy Kondo, Analia Karian, Noelia Cruz, Ali Duretsky, Julia Gore, Sophia Jastrubisky, Charliana Johnson, Diana Marty, Hennessy Rebolero, Angelina Rodriguez, Yamaleth Romero, Angelica Rothberg, Summer Schmidt, and Darice Valaderos. Okay, they will be receiving their certificates and their pins. And the scholar athletes on our team, these are students who've had a 90 or above average during our season. Wendy Kondo, Analia Karian, Noelia Cruz, Ali Duretsky, Julia Gore, Diana Marty, Hennessy Rebolero, Angelina Rodriguez, Yamilet Romero, Angelica Rothberg, Summer Schmidt, Darius Valaderos, and Shayla Ablisaka. Throughout the challenges we faced returning to the scholastic activities, the highlight for us coaches was the opportunity to work with the girls' soccer program. We were often inspired by our athletes' desire to train and compete as our school reopened to full extracurricular activities. Their sense of humor and enthusiasm carried us through the difficulties. Earlier this year, Diana Marty was recognized by the Section 9 to receive the Tony Martelli Service Award for girls soccer players. So she received her award earlier, but I'd like to recognize her tonight. We would like to recognize Angelina Rodriguez as our most improved player. While primarily playing in defense, Angelina also contributed to the midfield when we needed her to. At the beginning of the season, Angelina was tentative, but with each competition, we saw her confidence and leadership grow. We are expecting even more from her as she enters senior year. Our Coaches Award goes to Noelia Cruz. Noelia started out in JV, but quickly became a starter for the varsity team. She played an integral role in our midfield. Her determination is inspiring. Noelia gave 100% in every game up until the last minute. Yamilet Romero is our most valuable player. Over the years, we have watched Yamilet grow in skill and confidence into a top competitor. Yamilet was unstoppable in defense, maintaining her composure against tough opponents. As a co-captain, she took on a leadership role for the team, encouraging her teammates to train harder and achieve their potential. Although we will miss our seniors, Wendy, Hennessy, Analia, Diana, Julia, and Yamilet, we are proud to send them out to represent Liberty in their colleges and their careers.
Okay, good evening. My name is Adam Lake, and I'm the head football coach here at Liberty High School. Before I call the guys up, I have a few thank yous. First, I want to thank the Board of Education for giving me the opportunity to be the head football coach here at Liberty. I also want to thank the parents of all the players in the program for showing nothing but support, not only this year, but every year that someone was involved with the program. And also, the last group of thank yous goes out to my coaching staff. Without them, I'll be honest, I don't think I'd finish the season because they kept me glued together. Those coaches are Coach Robinson, Coach Williams, Coach O'Connor. To my modified coaches, Coach Guara, Delaney, and volunteers, Coach Brooks and Coach Soto. They deserve a round of applause. So boys, come on up. Varsity boys, come on up. Alright, so while a few are still making their way up, just a quick recap of this year's football team. This is the first time that we had no JV program. We went with 9th, 10th, and 9, 10, 11, and 12 if you were exceptional on the varsity. And we extended 9th graders' option to play modified as well. And this year's football team wasn't the biggest numbers wise. I mean, what you see here, there was a little more than this, but not much more. We were the youngest ever. We had 9 freshmen on the roster, and I can remember, I think it was week 3, we went to Burke Catholic and had 7 of them in the starting lineup due to COVID and injuries. But I mean, we finished out the season. Being young and limited numbers, that didn't stop this team from battling and playing their hardest in every game this season. And we finished the toughest schedule that I've ever seen since I've been in the program since 2009. We played Fort Jervis, Marlboro, some heavy hitter teams, and we took our lumps. Don't get me. I want to be correct. We took our lumps, but hats off to these guys for sticking with it. It was a pleasure coaching them because throughout the season we could see them improving. And I have 2 memories of this season that I want to share with you guys that kind of really sums up this team. The first, if you guys followed us, most of the time we were going down in a contest down 21-0 at half, sometimes 28-0. We really put ourselves in a jam a lot of times. But there's in the Marlboro game later in the season, okay, we came at halftime, typically down 21-0, we were only down 3-0. Eventually we lost that game 21-0, but at the end of the game, while we were addressing our team about explaining how proud we were of that team, one thing that stuck out to me was a member of the Marlboro coaching staff waited and asked for permission to address our team. And he had nothing but nice things to say. You know, he addressed this group of guys that you see here and some that aren't here, and said that, you know, keep fighting. There's something special in Liberty. And up until that point in the season, they've never been tested like that in a contest. You know, so hats goes off to them. And it was a proud moment for the team because other people noticed that we were improving as the year went on. My second memory, and it was the highlight of the season, was a homecoming game against Monticello. I always preach to the guys, it's not about how you start, it's how you finish. You know, and that pertains to the season. So we started off rough at the beginning. We started getting better towards the end. And in our final game, I mean, you can't even script it any better than this. These boys went out, mounted a come from behind, double overtime win versus Monticello to get their first win of the season. And it was much deserved. So that goes to show you how much Liberty pride they play with all the way to the last tick of the season by coming out with that win, which they deserve. So they deserve a round of applause for that. And before I start giving out the certificates, I just want to say, you know, boys, thank you for your efforts, your dedication, for all the years that you guys put into the program. It's greatly appreciated, and some of the seniors that are leaving, it's going to be missed, but you guys set a good example for the young guys behind you, so thank you. For the certificates right now, if you're here, come on up and get them. Farrell Bolden, Connor Brosia Johnson, Tanner Burry, Zion Caffrey, Zarquise Coe, Sean Coles, Eugene Davis Andino, Timothy Deary, Giovanni Dudley, Nathan Edwards, London Guara, Matthew Hernandez, Logan Keaton, Joshua Kratz, Justin Laps, Matthew Lutz, Darius Martin, Jamel McCline, Andrew McPhillips, Enrique Mercado, James Ordway, Jorge Reyes, Christopher Reynolds, Cody Rico, we got one. Jeremy Robbins, Andrew Scammorn, Austin Werlau, and Ethan Werlau. Okay, now for our awards. The first one we're giving out today, it looks like he's not here, but the Coach's Award, this year's Coach's Award goes out to a player that was a pleasure to coach. He always did what we asked without hesitation and with 100% effort. He was also a great teammate, always there to pick someone up when they needed it. Ladies and gentlemen, Farrell Bowling. The next award that we are giving out tonight is Most Improved. This year's Most Improved award goes to a player that stepped up big time for us at quarterback as a junior. He took on the role as an everyday starter, which is not an easy task. If anyone knows football, I mean, he was playing behind the line as a majority freshman for a big part of the season. So he had his work cut out for him. He rushed, he threw touchdowns, and he didn't throw his first interception for the very last game of the season. Ladies and gentlemen, Tanner Bird. Most Valuable Offensive Award. This year's Most Valuable Offensive Player was a player who was our workhorse on the offensive side of the ball all year. He also returned the opening kickoff in the second half of the game at New Paltz for a touchdown. Before our Monticello game, I told him that today was his legacy game, and he went out and had his best performance of the year, carrying the ball 22 times for 118 yards and 2 touchdowns. Ladies and gentlemen, Sean Coles. Next award is Most Valuable Defense Award. This year's Most Valuable Defensive Player should come as no surprise. This player flew around the field when he played, and he led the team in tackles for the last 2 seasons. He was our speaking captain on most games, and he really did set an example of what it means to play with Liberty pride and heart. Ladies and gentlemen, Tim Deary. The last award that I'm giving out is the Most Valuable Player. I'm not a really big stats guy. I just go off of what I'm seeing, what I'm feeling. And for this player, he was a huge asset to the team in more ways than one. This player worked hard for us over the years and continued that hard work this year when he and his younger brother would often make practices a little late because he would be a couple hours away, pouring concrete all day in the summer for his family business. He would make his way to practice still after a hard day's work, jump right in, give 100% effort, never complain, never missed a practice. He started on both sides of the ball, played special teams. Besides being a captain and at times a speaking captain, he was the vocal player that was always coaching up his teammates, any chance that he could get. And this is my first year as a head coach, and having someone that is knowledgeable about the game, as this player that I'm about to announce, was a huge asset to the program, to me, and I appreciate that. Ladies and gentlemen, this year's MVP, Ethan Worlow. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, round of applause for this year's football team. Next up, varsity cheerleading coach Perugino.
Hi everybody, thank you for coming. I want to keep this going right along, so while the boys are sitting down, I'm just going to introduce myself. I am Nicole Perugino. I coach the varsity cheer team for the fall season and the winter season as well. And I would just like to ask anybody who was on the fall cheer team, so the football season cheer team, to please come up on the stage at this time. While they're doing that, I just want to say a couple of things. First off, I'd like to thank both of our athletic directors that we had between the beginning of the season and the end of the year for being so welcoming to me as a coach, as it was my very first time coaching on my own. And then also so accommodating to the fact that the Liberty cheerleading team, despite what you see on the stage, tripled from its regular size this year. So typically it looked about as big as this, and ended up being 20 boys and girls both seasons. So that was overwhelming for both myself, the athletic directors, and everybody involved. I'd also like to thank the football and basketball coaches for welcoming us onto the field and into the gym and supporting the cheers and chants that they heard for hours on end. And lastly, I would like to thank the parents and the spectators of all Liberty games and functions that involve cheerleaders, because I know that you heard the Indian Rumble almost as much as I did. Okay. Despite the lack of cheerleaders, I will just recognize them tonight, and if you hear your name, you can come and grab your certificate. Amanda Bracey, Heidi Brown, Brianna Cotman, Sherlyn Garzon, Camila Gonzalez, Grace Hernandez, Abigail Kelly, Zoe Kipp, Daleen Marin Garzon, Juliana Martinez, Justice Oquendo, Milena Quick Lepke, and Elizabeth Tessman. So please give a round of applause. Our most valuable cheerleader for the fall season is someone who was not only always willing to help me as her coach, but also the other cheerleaders with whatever was needed, no matter what time of day it was. She was also almost unanimously voted as the captain of the cheerleading team both seasons, so fall and winter. She made sure that the team knew what was going on at all times, what they needed to wear to school on game days, what time they needed to be on the bus when we were traveling, and everything in between. And I honestly could not have done this without her. She was a huge help to me, which is why Daleen Marin Garzon is receiving the Most Valuable Cheerleader Award. The second award is the Coaches Award for the fall season. Unfortunately, our recipient is not here tonight. However, she was always the most passionate cheerleader out there, whether it was on the track or in the gym. She was constantly telling the girls to put themselves out there during their cheers and their halftime routines. She barely ever missed a practice or a game, and she was always one of the first to show up and one of the last to leave. She was a huge asset to the team, and we will definitely miss having her next season as she is graduating early this year. But our Coaches Award is going to Amanda Bracey, so please give her a round. Just one more time, thank you girls for everything. It was so nice to be outside on the track for the first time in a long time, cheering and watching you grow. So again, just a round of applause for our fall cheer team. And next is the varsity girls tennis coach, Coach Felber.
Hi everybody, I am not Coach Felper. She is not here. So she asked me to say a few things, and I will do that. If the girls' tennis team would like to come up, they need to come up and turn it on. Okay, this is from Coach Feldberg. I know you guys adore her, and she sings to you. This season, the girls' varsity tennis team was definitely one of ups and downs, and often felt like we were on a bit of a roller coaster. We started the season as a solo team for Liberty and then merged with Tri-Valley and Fallsburg to create one giant team. We had players beat COVID during the season, which kept them away for a while, as well as schedules and being out of the country. Through it all, we kept pushing, as we do in Liberty. We were fortunate to send 2 Liberty players to the division championships. Eventually, our merge and our determined players won the OCIAA Division III championship title. And she did add, although there were some rocky effects of this, as I'm sure you guys know, I'm not familiar, the title still stands as ours, and we are happy to hold it. I am proud to recognize Daleen, Paula, Mayexin, Madison, Liliana, Rosa, Teresa, Julia, and Olemis for representing 3 schools and coming together as a team we nicknamed Fort Lauderdale. They left a lot of heart on the courts every time. Today, I would like to recognize 2 individuals on the team that put in a lot of work during the season, both on and off the courts. The MVP award goes to our player with an 8-1 record. This young lady has the drive to learn and practice until she can't anymore. In the spring, she decided a change of equipment was something that could help her, and so we met in Middletown to look at new rackets. She asked for ways to continue improving, and so we looked into programs for her to help potentially seek out guidance of school. Hold on, let me restart that sentence. She asked for ways to continue improving, and so we looked into programs for her to potentially seek guidance out of school-ran practices. She would stay late after practice on the courts and scheduled other practice times with other teammates outside of practice hours. She would work with anyone and everyone so she could work on skills and assist them with becoming better players. She went with us to the OCIAA championship to represent Liberty. The MVP award goes to Madison Green. Conveniently, both players are here. The Coaches Award goes to the player who in her own way inspires others as well as any adult that she has come in contact with. This individual started her fall season off participating in 2 varsity sports, and let alone was the captain of both sports. This is just in addition to being on student council, her academics, and working a job. She persevered through all of this and remained flexible every time. On days she wasn't with tennis, she would still come after cheer practice and hang out with the girls when she wasn't allowed to participate, just because. She kept the mood on the bus rides light, and she was a reliable teammate when asked to assist in any way. She has the flexibility of singles and doubles, and has done either, but chose this year to step out of doubles and hit the court as a singles player. Another Liberty member represented at the OCIA championships, where she interested a college scout and was offered a scholarship to play tennis for them. Daleen will be going to Dominican College. Oh, sorry, recants. She's not going to Dominican College. a force of nature and a wonderful role model. The Coaches Award goes to Daleen Marion Belgium. One of the things I like to teach the young people is that it's okay to make mistakes. Before the next coach comes up, I just wanted to let everybody know that this is a varsity letter, and the smaller ones are the JV letters. There are 2 different sizes of varsity letters tonight. We'll fix that for next year. But traditionally, this goes on a letterman's jacket. I don't know if anyone has ever seen one before, or if they've been phased out. But I do have information on letterman's jacket. We can bring them back and make it a popular tradition here at Liberty. If you'd like to order one, we'll do that anytime. And then the pins are supposed to go on here. And you walk around with your Liberty Pride and your jacket, and everybody knows you're an athlete, and it's a great tradition to be a part of. So, all right, congratulations, girls tennis. All right, next, to round out the fall season will be our volleyball coaches, Coach Vernon and Coach Nowitzki.
Hello, you guys. My name is Mayanna Vernon, and I had the pleasure of coaching the wonderful girls from the JV girls volleyball team. If there's anyone here from the JV girls volleyball team, can you please come up on the stage? So as they're coming up, I just want to say a brief word that this is actually my first year ever coaching volleyball. So I really want to thank the girls for embracing me. I knew I was a new face, and this is my first time back at Liberty, but this time as a staff. So I really want to thank the girls for welcoming me and the staff as well. And I also want to say that I've never coached a group of athletes where I've seen so much growth take place in such a short amount of time. And that ultimately made me say to myself, well, if they've grown that much in such a short period of time, I can't imagine how they're going to look next season. So, girls, you should really be proud of yourselves, because I am. So, if I call your name, just come up, for those that are here, and grab your certificate. Lorna Dewitt. Olivia Dureski. Leanna Gisson-Tanner. Tyara Harris. Claudia Herzog. Kaya Jackson. Nora Little. Destiny Loyce. Perla Macias. Sophia Marty. Madison Morales. Kayla Samuel. Brianna Smith. Janiyah Taylor. And Mackenzie Williams. Once again, I'm proud of you girls.
I'm going to call the varsity volleyball team up. I'll call them by name. Katrina Blaze, Annabelle Card, Emily Prairie, Imani Gonzagi, Allison Freer, Alyssa Kadaleski, Alexa Claricella, Alexa Ramirez Garcia, and Aaliyah Williams. So when something is taken away and you have the opportunity to be included, to be part of something bigger than yourself, you don't get to appreciate it. And that's where I think when we got back on the court, along with, again, everybody else after COVID, I think that's what COVID taught us, to appreciate it, okay? So this team showed resilience, they showed effort and passion, and they showed a love for the game. I admire them for that. I'm going to announce the defensive MVP. When this player was inserted into the starting lineup, right away our team changed. We became complete. Besides being a presence on the net, blocking shots, intimidating the other team's outside hitters, he was also one of our top servers. It was fun to sit back and watch her play because she has a love for the game, and I hope that never changes. The defensive MVP is Aaliyah Williams. For the offensive MVP, she is known for her jump serve, something I have seen and admired since modified volleyball. Her ability to read a defense and know when to spike or push the ball helped us out during tough and close games. She's one of the most top athletic players I've coached in my 13 years. The offensive MVP goes to Alyssa Caballero. And then for our team MVP, from coaching this young lady from modified to varsity, I know the work that she put in, from perfecting her serves, from being able just to play so every position on the court. This year she got moved around and she was even a presence on the net. And once she did that and became a complete player, she was basically the nucleus of our team. She controls the tempo of offense in the team by being the primary setter, and she is a leader. She's the ultimate team player, and I love coaching her. The MVP is Katrina Blaze. All right, and as you guys come to, I'm just going to give you certificates. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Coach Cologne. I was the head coach for JV basketball and assistant coach for varsity. Coach Chase could not make it, so I'm doing both. I'm hearing all these great stories about you guys, like late game situations and winning games. I don't have any of that for basketball, I'm sorry. But I can guarantee I won't try to sell you guys a Letterman jacket. All right? I don't know any of you guys want to wear it. I'll start off with JV. If I can get whoever's here for my JV team. Hopefully everyone. It's not practice. Nice. Riley, you look great, by the way. That's the props. First, JV obviously doesn't get any awards, but I want to thank my team captains, James and Logan Danzillo. I opened up a classroom before every practice so these kids could get their homework done, and these two showed up every time and helped kids with their homework. All right, Austin didn't. I see him over there smiling. He was no hope. and I'm going to make that short. That's it for JV. All right, now for varsity. These guys put me through a lot. I had it for maybe 2 weeks of the season, and it was the worst time of my life. If I can get all the varsity kids up here, please. My scholar athletes were Tanner Burley, Dylan Nichols, and Ethan Warlow. Also, Tanner was there for every time helping my JV kids with their homework every day, and I appreciate that. Thank you. For my most improved player was Alil Lima. He showed up every practice. He did everything he was supposed to do. He did not get much playing time, but I guess he played 5 more minutes than he did last year, so he's most improved player. So give him a round of applause. I'll text him out. Colin Flynn was my defensive player. He is not here either. All right? But Colin works hard. He may not have remembered any plays at all, but he made up for it on defense. All right? And then we have Nazir Gibbs as Offensive Player of the Year. MVP for varsity will be announced later. But all right. The basketball season was short, so we're done here. Thank you, guys. I would like to introduce the JV girls coach, Coach Warner.
Good evening. I'm Sheila Warner. I was the girls JV varsity girls basketball coach. I got the privilege of coaching with Coach Duretsky. He reached out to me this fall and said, hey, we need another coach for JV. And I said, well, let's give it a ride, knowing that we had a lot of obstacles. Just a sincere thank you to Coach Duretsky, as he would pick up a lot of the afternoons and evenings when my work schedule kept me at the office later. He always had a flawless practice plan and was willing to step in, whether COVID took over or just what it was. So a sincere thank you to him. I'm going to call the girls one by one. If you could hold your applause to the end, and then I'll give the little memory of the season for them. Elena Louise Ramirez, Gabrielle Gentile, Haley Gomez, Maya Hibsch, sorry Maya if I said that wrong, Kaya Jackson, Kenesha Wadow, Destiny Loyce, Hannah Warner. So even though they had no desire to stay on the stage with me, wanted to point out there was a point in the season. We started off, it was a rough season initially because we had COVID to deal with. We had a couple-year layoff for this age group as far as playing any type of competition. So the first few games were, I'll say it nicely, rough. So we had a meeting in the media center, a team meeting, team only, and said, you know, this could be a turning point. This could be the point where we go on and we lose out for the rest of the season. We concede when we walk into the gym, or we can dig deeper and we can figure out what our why is and how we're going to move on from here. They won the next 5 games. Not just the JV girls basketball resilience, the varsity girls basketball resilience, the resilience of our student athletes this year, as there were so many insurmountable obstacles, not just this year, but in the 2 years going into this year. I know we hear it over and over again, but spending day in and day out, do we have enough to get on the bus? Do we have a bus driver? All the various things that you don't realize go into it. So just a sincere thank you to the players, to the parents, and the coaches. Duretsky, varsity girls basketball.
Okay, just like any other sports program, our program had a lot of moving parts as well. I'd like to thank Erin Albert for her support throughout the season. I think the district got it right for sure as a person who knows kids but knows our kids as well. So thank you, Erin. And Sheila, it was great having a person who was right there with me, and we shared the same vision, basketball-wise, kids-wise. It was reflected in the score at the end, but it was a pleasure working with you. As well as Coach Hamilton, who took over the modified, and if anyone's ever coached modified girls basketball before, you know what a trying situation that can be. He was on board with what we were doing as well, so it was really nice to have a program that way. Additionally, I'd like to thank Debbie Lewis. We give her a round of applause. She, probably no one here knows except for the players and the athletic director, the administration, but when I started coaching here a couple years ago, I can't get here till after 4 o'clock, and I needed somebody who could provide a study hall for the athletes, and she did that for the 2 years that I coached JV, and then again this year, and thank you so much, I really appreciate it. And I know this is graduating, but if you want to come back, that's great. Then 2 other quick thank yous. 2 students, Olivia Duretsky, who did our scorebook, Summer Schmidt, who took a lot of pictures for us, which helped put together our senior night. Thank you. And then the parents and players, took all of us to do this, especially, especially when we were the week before Christmas break until about mid-January when we had it shut down and then pick right back up. But everybody was really supportive. I had some other things written about Coach Lake with his 2 moments that kind of stand out. Sort of inspired me to talk about some things instead. The thrill of victory, the agony of defeat. We kind of sum up 2 things, 2 moments that happened in our season. Losing to Fallsburg, over at Fallsburg, with a tough loss, because if we would have we lost by a basket, that basket would have put us into sectionals, which would have been great considering all the variables that we had leading up to this season. And then winning against Burke on senior night. Sorry, no, that wasn't our senior night. But I'm not sure how the girls felt going into the game as far as whether we were going to win or be competitive or not. You know, it was nice to see everybody gave it their all. Angelina got hurt early in that game. Then the boys basketball team came in. It reminded me of the days way back 25 years ago when I went to school here, where there was a cheering section from the students, and they really, the boys program really helped us that night as well. It was a really fun night to be here for Liberty basketball. Moving on to the awards. First, the coaches award. Sorry, let me slow down. Let me call up the girls. All varsity girls, please come up. Emily Curry, Lorna DeWitt, Allie Duretsky, Charliana Johnson, Alyssa Kavleski, Angelina Rodriguez, Angelica Rothberg, Victoria Rothberg, and Grace Werman. So the coach award this season is given to a player that did not see a lot of playing time, but gave a great effort every day of practice, was a great teammate, tried to make the most of any opportunity once she got in the game. She'd ask a lot of questions. During practice, we did the 11-man drill. She often won that simply by out-hustling everyone and never giving up when she got frustrated. The coach's award goes to Charliana Johnson. The most improved player goes to someone that seemed iffy on even playing this season and likes to, I think, bust my chops about playing next season. I'm glad she did. Threw a lot of new techniques the girls weren't used to. And she would be one of the players that would go off to the side and work on them on her own and ask for help on perfecting them. Whereas the other girls were trying to shoot half-court shots or shoot threes or stuff we rarely did in games. In turn, she had the best game of her season during the Livingston Manor tournament, and I look forward to big things from her season, from her next season. And Angelina Rodriguez, please accept your award. And the Most Valuable Player award. I feel that's the toughest one to give out. There's so many variables in basketball: offense, defense, ball handling, rebounding, being your teammate, hustling, etc. Oftentimes that player is the one that scores the most points. So this player led the team in just about every category. And without her, we really would have even struggled bringing the ball up across the court. She's mentally tough, played to win, worked harder than anyone else on the team. I had the pleasure of having her come up early when I used to coach JV, so she played as an 8th grader. And it was fitting that she carried our team to beat Burke in the her final home game. So Alyssa Kavleski, please accept the award. And lastly, we have our scholar athletes, which were Lorna, Allie, Charliana, Alyssa, Angelina, Angelica, and Grace.
I'm back. And in keeping with the it's okay to make mistakes, I did make a mistake in that the boys basketball MVP is not to be given out later, it's to be given out when the other awards are given out. While I don't have very many stats on this young man, I will say I have known him for the past 4 years. I had him in that wonderful 9th grade PE class where I had a lot of the seniors. Probably my best PE class ever. Always wanted to play 3-on-3 with me and Quinton, or me and Logan, or 2-on-2, whatever the numbers worked out to be. And I have known him to become a wonderful young man. And I know Coach Alexander has said nothing but great things about him. He sees him as a leader and a hard worker and all of that. So Ethan, we're allowed to come get your basketball MVP.
winter cheerleading team as well. So if you were a part of the basketball cheer team for the winter season, please come up on the stage. It might look like the same 4 girls, 5 girls, because it is. But the team did change from fall to winter. We gained a lot of new cheerleaders. We lost a couple of cheerleaders to other winter sports. Zoe Kipp being one of them. She's not here tonight, but she did choose wrestling over cheerleading. I'm not mad or anything, it's fine. We have Amanda Bracey, Heidi Brown, Marcus Detzauer, Sherlyn Garzone, Grace Hernandez, Abigail Kelly, Kimberlyn Malaga Gonzalez, Daleen Marin Garzone, Juliana Martinez, Melina Quick-Lepke, and Rachel Young. Okay, so that is our winter cheer team. If you could give them a round of applause. The winter season definitely came with its challenges. We started with about 20 boys and girls, same as the fall season. However, that dwindled down to a nice, 11, 12, for extenuating circumstances. I know a lot of this players were irritated that games were continuously canceled or rescheduled or practices were canceled because only 4 people were going to show up or whatever the case may be. So we definitely faced our challenges for the winter season. So I would just like to thank the 5 girls that you see before you on this stage for continuously committing, showing up to all the practices, showing up to all the games, keeping their grades up so that they were eligible to cheer in the first place. So please give these 5 girls a round of applause because they really did commit. Our most improved player award goes to a girl who is not here tonight, but it is Kimberlyn Malaga Gonzalez. A lot of the players came to me with little to no cheer experience whatsoever. They had never been on a cheerleading team, they didn't participate in the youth program, or they did it for a year or 2 and then they stopped and now they're back. Okay, Kimberlyn, however, put in an outstanding amount of work. She was at almost every single practice. She caught on to the cheers and the moves that went along with them faster than anybody I've ever seen. And I cheered for 13 years. She was better than me. She came out of her shell and she began cheering really, really well at all of the games, despite the fact that she had to wear a mask indoors and scream at the top of her lungs in order for me to be able to hear her. So please give a round of applause for Kimberlyn. Her improvement is admirable, and that's why she is receiving this award. Our most valuable player for the winter season is also not here tonight. Despite having a mask on her face during practices and during games, she could always be heard. She was the loudest one on the team. She was also the only reason we could have those side dances and performances that everybody liked so much because she brought the speaker for every single game. She was also responsible for the sing-alongs that happened on the buses after every single game. Okay. She helps the younger cheerleaders in her spare time in the youth program, so her dedication to cheer does not stop with me and my team or our team, but it goes further into the youth program that she had siblings on, and then her friends had siblings on it, so she was always constantly there helping them during their practices and cheering them on at their games. So our most valuable player for the winter season is Heidi Brown. And again, just one more round of applause before I ask the boys indoor track coach wrestler to come up and present this.
In the program, it says indoor track. The correct designation was winter track because we began the season with a schedule that included outdoor meets at Tri-Valley and Monticello and also meets at the parking garage at Woodbury Commons. That's not a joke. The weather soon won out and we were indoor track. We were confined to meets at Sullivan County Community College. These meets were said to be developmental, so we did not score them for the team, and even the championship was for individuals. But yet we had some outstanding results. So will the following members who are here please come up? Nate DeRochers, Gabe DeRochers, Carlos Campos Castro, Wayne Kratz, Eric Lanos, Elvin Osorio Aguilar, Chase Reset, and Juan Romero Jimenez. Guys, I'm very pleased. Whenever I read out names like that, I never know how many people are actually here. This team was also a scholar athlete team, including Gabe DeRochers, Nate DeRochers, Eric Lanos, Elvin Osorio, Chase Reset, and Juan Romero. You may think that I'm reading from cross country, but I assure you I am not. Again, the Coach's Award goes to a runner who excelled in the sprints, but would compete in any event to represent Liberty. He always tries his hardest in whatever event he is competing in. Our Coach's Award goes to Wayne Kratz. They have two outstanding novice awards. This runner competed in track at the modified level and then skipped a few years to compete at the varsity level as a junior. He showed great promise in the 300 and 600, working harder in every meet to get better. The first outstanding novice goes to Eric Lanos. Our second outstanding novice. I knew this young man was a very good athlete as I had watched him compete in other sports. Usually when an athlete goes out for track in their senior year, it can be mixed results. Usually they're not very successful. I decided this young man might be an exception when he picked up a shot put and threw it over 30 feet, his first throw. A great addition to the team, Chase Reset. Our most outstanding athlete is a runner who was always near the front of the pack in the 300, the 600, and the 1,000. He was also key to our relay teams. He's another athlete that always does what he's asked and will run any event to help the team. Our most outstanding is Gabe DeRochers. That's probably a good idea. Coach Feeney, girls indoor track.
All right, girls, come on up. We have Kushi Chaudhry, Sandra Hanafi, Diana Marty, Katrina Blaze, and that's it. This was also a scholar athlete team with Sandra Hanafi, Diana Marty, and Katrina Blaze. I'd like to thank Coach Simpson and Coach Bressler for all their help this season for transitioning me into Liberty Indoor Track, as it was very new to me, and setting up all the Sullivan County meets and everything that had to go along with, as well as Coach Medina for taking on the highly coveted modified track job. But the indoor season was a strange one due to COVID limitations at most venues, but thankfully SCCC allowed us to hold developmental meets there, and athletes can compete against other schools, get meets, or get medals, and even have a championship. I do have to say that it was a nice change of pace not having to travel so far though. All the track people know how far we could possibly go for meets. So Sullivan County was a nice change of pace. Our numbers were small, but we had a great group of girls who made the best out of the season. And if you don't know track, it takes 4 people to have a relay team, and we had 4, but sometimes we didn't. And the highlight was when we did. Most outstanding, the recipient of this award was our captain from day one. She set a fantastic example of what type of individuals we as coaches are looking for on a sports team. She showed up to practice every day, which is sometimes very difficult to want to do for indoor track. And she worked extremely hard and always helped her teammates out. This individual will be greatly missed and will do amazing things outside of high school. Congratulations, Katrina Blaze. That's it for me. We got Coach Ramos coming up.
The weather did not cooperate with our ski season this year. So many of our colleagues were grateful for the mild winter. We were all hoping for snow. This was a building year for Liberty Racing Team with so much promise for our future success. Carpio and I would like to thank our parents for their support and flexibility with the ever-changing schedule. And thank you also to Mrs. Alvord for help in solving transportation dilemmas. Would the racing boys and girls team please take the stage? Boys and girls ski team. They're a lot faster in the snow. Our girls' team consisted of Shelby Clark, Kelsey Goldsmith, Nora Little, and Sophia Martin. And our boys' team consisted of Hudson Danzillo. Our most valuable skier on the girls' team was Kelsey Goldsmith. Kelsey began competing for the first time this season and was able to represent Liberty in slalom and giant slalom races. Our most improved skier is Shelby Clark. After getting on skis for the first time ever at the beginning of the season, Shelby's skills grew each time she took to the slopes. She will only grow stronger as the season continues, as she continues to ski. Our most valuable skier on the boys' team is Hudson Danzillo. Hudson consistently finished under the top 20 in every race and qualified for the sectional race for both slalom and giant slalom. Remember, Hudson is a 7th grader racing against high school skiers from 10 different schools in grades 9 through 12. We are so proud of Hudson's accomplishments and look forward to see his speed and confidence grow in the coming years. Hudson also has earned the Scholar Athlete Award with a grade point average above 90%. Our next presenter is Coach Bell.
Hey guys, I am Coach Long, head coach of the wrestling team. And before I invite the guys up, I just want to say a little about wrestling. So, obviously wrestling is not the most popular sport at Liberty, especially not in Sullivan County. sectional tournament hosted here. So a round of applause for that. And a little about this season. So we started off with about 15 or 16 guys, and we finished with about 8. Now, starting the season with 15 guys and there's only 13 weight classes, that's a really good sign, because every weight class is going to be filled. You have a full team, right? Finishing the season where you only have 8 out of 13 weight classes. That's kind of a problem, because now you are giving up forfeits, and that was the case for a lot of our matches. A lot of our matches we were only losing because we just didn't have enough people. So we finished the season 3-5, but not because we're going out to these matches and guys are absolutely destroying us. It really only is because we didn't have the numbers. Each forfeit is 6 points. So we are giving up 30 points before the match even starts. So that's obviously not fun. So if any athletes tonight do not have any of the sport you're playing during the winter, obviously we need you, all right? Especially football players, all right? So let's go ahead and call the guys up. First up, Ethan Blumenthal, Tim Deary, Zoe Pipp, Josh Scott, Justin Louts, Colin Mangan, Isaiah Mateo, Andrew Skinner, Carlos Torres, and Derek Weir. We also have some scholar athletes, Tim, Quentin, Andrew, and Carlos. And as far as an MVP, I did not end up choosing an MVP just because it was a toss-up between 3 of these guys. Each of these guys had one tournament throughout the season where they're basically the boss of that show, right? So if I had to choose an MVP, it would be all 3 of these guys. So round of applause for Tim, Quentin, and Andy. Most improved, she is not here, but the award goes to Zoe Pipp. Zoe is our only female wrestler, and being the only female wrestler in a male-dominated sport, it's very, very difficult, especially when each match you're going out and you're wrestling someone older than you with more experience than you. But Zoe always stepped up to the plate, and win or lose, she ended up improving from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. She was a section finalist, and then just recently in May, she was a national finalist in all-season tournament. So round of applause for that. Alright, so I think that is it. Next up we have Coach Nick for JV Baseball.
JV baseball guys, come on up. while we're waiting for the rest of the guys to make their way to the stage, this year's JV baseball team, well, let me back up. I didn't know I was coaching JV baseball until about 2 days before the season started. This outboard reached out. They needed to fill a vacancy. Of course, I had to get permission from the wife first. She gave me permission, and I'm glad that she did. Because I've been out of baseball coaching up here for a few years now. So it was nice to get back into coaching baseball. And if there was a group of kids to come back after being retired for a little bit and coaching baseball, these guys were a pleasure. They were fun to be around. They worked hard. They've stuck together even though they haven't played a JV baseball contest in over 2 years. Some of them, the last action they saw was maybe 7th grade on the modified level. So hats off goes to this group of JV baseball players. It was an absolute pleasure. And I will say that the future looks bright for the baseball program here at Liberty. So they deserve a round of applause. When you hear your name, come up and get your certificate. James DeRestri. James Fancy. Andrew Figueroa. Dylan Fink. Adam Hausen. Matthew Lutz. Matthew McCoy. Andrew McPhillips. David Phillips. Mason Smith. Riley Todd. Where's Riley? Riley, get up here. Austin Werlau. Aiden Wilson. And last but not least, Aiden Yawn. Ladies and gentlemen, JV baseball. Next up, varsity baseball, Coach Franklin.
Let's have the varsity baseball team come up. First off, I'd like to point out that everybody has a college shirt on the baseball team. I appreciate that. Our varsity staff team consisted of Tanner Burry, Tim Deary, London Guara, Liam Henry, Matthew Hernandez, Logan Keevan, Eliel Lima, Dylan Nichols, Cody Rico, Luis Robles, Ethan Werlau, and Derek Wheeler. I would first like to thank all the parents for their support throughout the baseball season. It was awesome to see that they would do anything for our players to be successful and are willing to help in any way possible. Thank you. We would also like to recognize Coach Verdun, Coach Lake, Coach Guara, and Coach Bayround, and also our team managers, Nate Albert and Everett Schwartz, for their efforts within the baseball program this season. I'm confident in saying that we have an outstanding group of coaches in the program who are committed to making our athletes improve their skill and become better men. The 2022 baseball season proved to be a step in the right direction for the future of our program. The first thing that I would like to highlight is our Scholar Athlete Team recognition. Those 4 athletes are Tanner Burry, Logan Keaveney, Dylan Nichols, and Ethan Werlau. is a team award. Those athletes being recognized for a 9-year above average. Having a scout athlete team is something that we take great pride in as a group and was one of my personal team goals at the beginning of the year. The team was also able to accomplish season highs for the past 4 years in every category, including wins, batting average, fielding percentage, and run average. Some things that I'll remember about the season include our trip to the Baseball Hall of Fame, placing second in the Sullivan West tournament, and witnessing 3 of our own players hit home runs. Sometimes it's not like that. I cannot acknowledge the efforts and commitment of this team enough. They continuously battle and improve immensely throughout the season. Seniors, I wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors and look forward to hearing from you soon. As for our awards, the Most Valuable Player Award will be announced later. Our Offensive Player of the Year Award goes to Eliel Lima. Eliel finished with .312 batting average, tallying 15 hits, 10 RBI, 16 runs, and 12 stolen bases. We look forward to Eliel's future as a baseball player. Our Defensive Player of the Year Award goes to Dylan Nichols. Dylan proved to be a huge asset for us in the field, at the plate, and on the base paths. Dylan played multiple outfield positions. However, no matter where he played in the outfield, we could always rely on him to make a great play. We look forward to Dylan's senior season. Our Liberty Baseball Coaches Award goes to Ethan Werlap. Ethan displays everything that a coach and teammate could ask for. He is smart, hardworking, and his game has improved tremendously. Ethan really stepped into a leadership role for us this season, and I'm extremely proud of the way he conducted himself as a man. And the last award I have is the Fred Piatek Most Improved Player Award. This is sponsored by Pro Prospects Training Center, and I believe it comes with 2 training sessions, free. That goes to Cody Rico. Cody had not played competitive baseball since modified. Looking at the improvements Cody made this season makes me excited for his future as a baseball player. Cody finished the season with his first home run and the lowest team ERA. This award comes with his session at Pro Prospects Training Center. Thank you. I would now like to introduce Coach Duretsky and the softball program.
Give a special thank you to Julia Austin, who is my volunteer assistant all year. She's really good, a lot of fun. Here now. The weather this year for the spring sports wasn't the most conducive, and we spent a lot of time inside the gym. It became a long season, but all in all, I think we had a lot of fun. We grew a lot. We had 2 wins, and hopefully we'll grow from there. So I'd like to announce the players: Aubrey Botsford, Carmela Bergio, Nevaeh Davis, Olivia Duretsky, Kenesha Ledoux, Elena Ramirez, Alessandra Rivera, Megan Schmidt, Brianna Smith, Angie Wheeler, Aaliyah Williams, Ariana Wilson, and Hannah Werner. That's all I have, and now I'll pass it on to Coach Phillips on the varsity.
While the JV is finishing up, could the varsity girls please come up? We started the year with 11 players. We actually finished active players at the end of the year with 8, so we had a lot of JV girls up. So we thank them for coming up and helping us out. Our 9 members are Quinn Allen, Lorna DeWitt, Claudia Herzog, Charliana Johnson, Julie Jerome, Rebecca Phillips, Angie Rodriguez, and Jelly Locker, and Grace Warner. I have a few thank yous as well. First of all, we could not have done it without Coach Albert. We appreciate everything you do for the entire Liberty School, but for myself, I appreciate all the moments in your office that we've had this year. I also want to thank the Board of Education. There was a push last year to get girls' sports some equipment. So by the end of the year, we got our first pitching machine in a long while. So we appreciate the Board of Education and their support for providing that for us. I'd like to thank the administration as well. Thank you, Derek, for all that you do for these girls throughout the day. As been mentioned earlier, the 9 girls you see up here were all scholar athletes. Every single one of them 90 average or better. So they will have all be getting pins for that as well. So congratulations. I think you get tired of me saying how much academics it means to the program, but I keep pushing it. To say this season was tough, it was. It was difficult at times. It's been mentioned a little bit by baseball, but spring sports really were hit the hardest by the pandemic. We lost the entire 2020 season. Then last year, our season was compressed into just about a month. We had no JV or modified program that was able to compete. So when the season started this year, I knew we would be young, we would be inexperienced. There are 3 girls that played above modified on the stage right now. And to make the jump from modified to varsity is quite a jump. So I appreciate all their effort. I know it wasn't always easy, but your perseverance and your hard work is definitely going to pay off in the future for each one of you. Let me just jump to the awards. So, our first award goes to our most improved player. Playing in her first full varsity season, this player showed tremendous growth throughout the season. She raised her average over 100 points in her last 9 games and finished first on the team with 13 walks. Her .438 on base percentage ranked second on the team. She also finished second on the team in doubles and finished tied for third on the team in both runs scored and runs driven in. Her defense in center field continually improved throughout the season, and she did a great job covering both gaps. She actually recorded her first 2 assists the final week of the season as well, throwing out runners on the base pass. This year's Most Improved Player award goes to Lorna DeWitt. Outstanding offensive player. This player, in her second year in varsity, tied for the team lead in RBIs. She finished second on the team in 5 major offensive categories, including hits, batting average, slugging percentage, OPS, and runs scored. Can you tell me the stats guy? She finished the year hitting .340 with an on-base percentage of .436. All this while catching nearly every inning of every game this season, including 2 tournaments where she had to catch games back-to-back. This year's Outstanding Offensive Player Award goes to Quinn Allen. Coaches Award. This year's Coaches Award goes to one of our 2 captains this year. Her contributions to the team go well beyond the stat sheet and cannot be understated. Some of her strengths, and she's a born leader in my opinion, and just her ability to be a great teammate to everybody, to know when to step up and say just a positive word to them. And I know this season was tough on her, and I know that nobody can be harder on herself than she can. But I surely appreciate all that she does for our varsity team and the entire program. On the field, batting as your leadoff hitter, this player finished second on the team in RBI and stolen bases, while finishing third in hits and runs scored. This year's Coaches Award is awarded to Grace Warner. Okay, and the MVP award will be announced later. So, thank you, Grace. Coach Pressler is next with the outdoor track.
The spring season was definitely controlled by the weather. The cold canceled some of our early meets. When we got to the OCL championship, it was almost suspended. It started at 8 a.m. It was almost suspended because of the heat index at around 2 o'clock, but we did finish. In between, the rain and the thunderstorms had their way. The team had a 6-1 overall record, losing only to perennial rival O'Neill. The wins were truly team efforts. As a team, we placed 5th in Section 9, Class C. There are 7 boys going to the state qualifier meet, including our 4x1 and 4x4 relay teams. I think last time that I read the names, I said if you're here, come forward. It would be pretty hard to do that if you weren't. Anthony Aubain, Jr., Carlos Campos Castro, Kevin Cando, Sean Coles, Dave DeRochers, Nate DeRochers, Tim Deary, Darian Jackson, Josh Kratz, Wayne Kratz, Eric Llanos, Chase Reset, Ivan Rodriguez Jr., Juan Romero Jimenez, and Boise Sellers IV. This team was also a scholar athlete team, and contributing to that were Kevin Cando, Gabe DeRochers, Darian Jackson, Wayne Kratz, Eric Llanos, Chase Reset, and Juan Romero. It may seem that in awarding a third Coach's Award to Wayne Kratz, that I really don't completely appreciate his contribution to the team. In fact, it's just the opposite. Although Wayne's best events are the sprints, it's always good to know that there's somebody there willing and able to jump in and do pretty much any event. I do apologize to Wayne for being unable to take the time to train him for pole vault. I was really looking forward to that body going 10 feet in the air, hopefully over a bar. Wayne will be competing in the state qualifier in the 100 and 200 and is part of the two relay teams, Captain Wayne Kratz Coach's Award. Another Coach's Award goes to a runner who decided to compete in spring track after a very successful indoor season. This time he worked hard in the 400 and the 800 and is a member of the 4x4 team. I just have a couple words for him, and that is, start out faster. He will be competing at the state qualifier in the 400 and 800 and is part of the 4x4 team, Eric Llanos. Another Coach's Award. This senior decided to give track a try in his final season at Liberty. He looked pretty fast, but I asked him to try the high hurdles. I wrote down in my notes, this was a good idea. Actually, it was an excellent coach's decision. He ran a personal best 16.39 in Section 9, Class C in the high hurdles, placing him second overall. He's also long jumped over 18 feet. He will be competing at the state qualifier in the 110 high hurdles, long jump, and is part of the 4x1. I think, however, I will remember him best for 2 words. Yes, Coach. Coach's Award to Sean Coles. It is track and field, or as some people reminded me, field and track. Our outstanding field athlete. After doing well in the shot put and the sprints during winter track, this athlete decided to split his time between golf and track. He improved his shot put from about 31-32 to 37 feet 11 and a half inches, and took up the long jump, hitting 18 feet 10 inches. He also competed in triple jump and is part of the 4x1, who will be competing in the state qualifier in shot put and long jump, and will be part of our 4x1 team, our outstanding field athlete, Chase Bissett. For outstanding athlete on the track, this senior capped his track and field career at Liberty with an outstanding senior season. He competed in the 400 and 800, often winning those events, particularly in dual meets for Liberty. Even threw in a 100 every now and then. He will be competing in the state qualifier in the 400 and 800 and is part of the 4x1 and 4x4 relay teams, Captain Gabe DeRoche. We have one final award for track and field. It's the Peter Koval Award. Peter Koval was a track and field athlete at Liberty. Peter was an average thrower in shot put and discus, but always did his best for the team. Peter even ran cross country for me in his senior year because he knew it would keep him in shape. He wasn't a very good 3-mile runner. Peter searched for his event until he found javelin. He became a superior javelin thrower. He learned everything he could that would make him throw better. He holds the school record and went on to college to throw there. When he came back on breaks, he would come to the track and help others. The student became the teacher. Peter threw javelin well, but I remember him more for his sportsmanship, team spirit, and irrepressible personality. The award is inscribed Team Above Self. A year after he graduated from college, Peter died in a car accident. When we selected the winner this year, I realized that the recipient also received the award last year. I guess that says something about this young man, Senior Captain Juan Romero. I just wanted to say, I don't have an award for this to give out, but I just wanted to say I've coached about 30 some years now, and I can't remember a nicer group and a more competitive group of seniors. I know that they will be missed by many, but none more than me. Thank you. I believe spring track, girls spring track with Coach Feeney is next.
girls spring trip. Come on up. It's Shayla Angusaca Lanos, Sedania Foster, Allison Hauser, Addison Mackey, Angeli Gerard, Anna Payton, Joelia Cruz, Madeline Kelly, Zimani Dansby, Ashlyn Novello, Daleen Marin Garzone, Alyssa Kovleski, Katrina Blaze, and this group also earned Scholar Athlete. First, I'd like to thank our building and grounds crew for helping us get all our equipment out in the beginning of the season. And then our administration for being so supportive of our student athletes, and Mrs. Albert for giving us everything that we needed to have a successful season. I almost forgot how intense and demanding the outdoor track season was, but I was quickly reminded. Luckily, we had a great coaching staff to split responsibilities and help our athletes as best as possible throughout the season. That includes Coach Simpson, Coach Bressler, Coach Medina, and Coach Chewins. This group only had a few athletes on the team that actually had competed in an outdoor track season before, so most of our team were rookies. This group of girls was so genuinely nice and laid back, but also at times their inexperience and age showed, which was extremely frustrating. But mostly because it was so hard to stay mad at them. However, because they were such a great group of student athletes, I'm really looking forward to seeing what this group does in the future. And, add some more pieces to the puzzle as well. Our small numbers and late season injuries hurt us, but they adapted and always competed. I'd like to wish good luck to Katrina, Alyssa, Anna, Shayla, Sedania, and Allie for making it to state qualifiers Thursday and Friday. The first award is the Coach's Award. This athlete was new to track this year and was willing to try just about every event to help the team. She brought so much positive energy to each day, whether it was practice or a meet. When she wasn't competing, she was always at the track cheering on her teammates, boys and girls. I wish she joined before her senior year, but I'm glad she gave it a shot before she graduates. Daleen Marin Garzone. The next is our Novice Award. And this award is to highlight a rookie who worked very hard, performed every single meet, and was willing to learn, and did it with a smile on her face, even when she was hurt, which was a lot. She made it to state qualifiers this year for the 400 hurdles as only an 8th grader, which is a very difficult race for anybody, but she made it look pretty easy. There were quite a few athletes on our roster that were new, and they were all rowing tremendously, so it was a difficult choice to pick just one out. But she stood out the most and stepped up to whatever challenge we gave her, Sedania Foster. In our last award, we have Co-Most Valuable Athlete Awards. Some years you have captains that work together so well and everything just clicks, which in return makes coaching a lot easier. This year was definitely one of those seasons where we had captains who went about things totally different, but somehow it worked out. We had a very young and inexperienced team, and these two girls accepted the challenge to help teach the younger girls different events, get them used to our daily routines, navigate them through track meets, big and small, and show them how to be real student athletes. They really set the bar high for years to come, and I couldn't have asked for a better veteran duo to lead this team. Thank you for everything this season, and best of luck after graduation, Katrina Blaze and Alyssa Kovleski. Next up, Coach Hart.
Hello, my name is Dan Hart. I'm the boys tennis coach here this year. My tennis players come up, please, as I read off your names. Michael Berger, Matthew Chibungo of LaCoy, Marin Happersan, Zane Kipp, Isaiah Mateo, Anthony Lucino, and Carlos Torres. Basically, this is my first year coaching tennis. I've played tennis for a long time. The first time I had the opportunity to actually coach it. We started off slow. Basically, we had 4 players sign up for the first day of practice, and due to the credit of the teammates, Isaiah's teammates, we actually had 8 when all was said and done. A couple of thank yous I want to give to Mrs. Doyle for coming and practice with us. Miss Albert, who probably regrets my classroom is so close to her office, going in there daily with questions. And of course, the buildings and ground department who had the tennis nets up as soon as I asked, I had them up the next day. So we had 2 players who had experience, competitive experience, not even the coach had competitive tennis experience. So I went to Miss Albert and I said, I'd like to build a program. I think the only way I can do that is we make sure they had fun and enjoyed the game and maybe learn a life skill of a way to have social interaction and get some exercise at the same time. And that's kind of what we did, hoping to build a program. I have 3 special awards. One is my coach's award for the player who would give his body or his knees by diving for tennis balls on asphalt. Anything for the team. That is this gentleman right here, Isaiah Mateo. The other 2 awards, as you can tell, they're not here, so we'll make those quick. Marin Happersan was my most improved player. He constantly worked, as everybody did, to improve on a daily basis. And I had other players from the other team comment how well he had improved, but he just picked a racket up at the beginning of the season. He was one of those people that we added after his first initial 4. So Marin's not here, but we'll tell him he's clapped for us. And my MVP would be Michael Berger, who is actually, the first day of practice, he's the only one who had varsity experience. Carlos was medically ineligible at the time. So I approached him because the other teams were talking about do you want to go JV or varsity, and believe it or not, Liberty's the only school in Sullivan County that had a tennis team for boys. So we're the county champions. But I approached Mike, and he said, I just want to play tennis and have fun. And then when we one Saturday morning before the prom, we had a double match at Fort Jervis, and I overheard Mike talking to our youngest teammate, and he's telling me, the guy was being too hard on himself. He goes, don't look at how you did just now, look at how you did today compared to how we started at the beginning of the season. So that's why he's my MVP, for that reason alone. Next we have Boy Scout, Girl Scout.
Good evening. Coach Wilhelm, girls golf, and Coach Hamlin was my volunteer assistant. He's a valuable asset to the girls golf program. So I want to thank him for all his efforts. Thank Mrs. Alvord for making things go as smoothly as possible this spring. The hardest thing about coaching golf is, you've heard it, dealing with the spring weather in Sullivan County. The courses just aren't open. We can't get on the course. We're stuck inside, hitting the ball into a net, and that's good for about 5 minutes, and then the girls want to know what's next. And then once the courses do open, we get outside. It's match, match, match. We're playing 3-4 matches a week, and there's little time for practice. And it's very hard to make progress like that. And after about 3 weeks, the season's over. So to really become really good at golf, these girls and the boys as well have to put the time in during the off season, play all summer. So I'm hoping that they do that. This year we were a merged team. We had kind of a small team, and Fallsburg and Tri-Valley reached out to us to merge because they each only had one golfer. Tri-Valley actually turned into 2 golfers. But with the merged team, we finished 7-2. So that was very good. We did have a girl from Tri-Valley that was a very good golfer. Officer Papo's daughter, I don't know if you know Officer Papo, but he's an SRO in the elementary school. His daughter goes to Tri-Valley. She's quite a golfer, and she qualified for the state tournament. But we did finish with a 7-2 record. Girls, please come up when I call your name. Allie Duretsky. Sandra Hamilton. Summer Schmidt. Leah Harrigan. And Yuridia Cristino Lopez. These girls also received the Scholar Team Award. Each one of them carried an average over 90 for the 3rd marking period. So they all get a pin for that. I couldn't ask for a better group of young ladies to have on the golf team. I know it's a small team, but I bet we had the most laughs, the most fun. Looking for golf clubs and looking for lost golf balls. And the daily question, why can't we drive a cart? I have 2 awards to hand out. The first one is the most improved golfer, and that goes to Allie Duretsky. And the next award is the Coach's Award, and that goes to Summer Schmidt. Girls, I want to thank you for everything. Like I said before, I couldn't ask for a nicer group of girls or young ladies to work with. And me and Mr. Hamlin are looking forward to next year. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Liz Fuentes. I'm one of the boys golf coaches. Coach Deal is out there practicing his golf game, so he has a chance to possibly beat me next season. But if you know it, he's not going to beat me. Man, alright. I love sports, first of all. Like, this is my favorite night. First of all, Mike and I would like to thank everybody over at Swan Lake Golf and Country Club, Bobby Mangus and Todd Gallo for having us over there. They're really wonderful to the boys and the girls team, so I just wanted to thank them. Will all of the members of the boys golf team that are here please come up? We have Gavin Bisef, Quentin Herzog, Colin Mengen, Filiberto Nieves, Philly's first year, he did awesome. Philly, you want to come get this? Chase Reset, Jeremy Simon, Ethan Werlau, and Lawrence Whipple. Everybody's said it. The spring season is ridiculous, especially if you're a golfer, because our buildings and grounds crew can't help us. We have to wait for the golf courses to open, and that never works out very well. And it takes a long time to get back into regular form as a golfer, so it doesn't work well to be successful always. But our boys did an excellent job this season. They came in second place in the division at the tournament. It was the first time we held a division tournament. They came in second place. I think they only lost to Monticello by 12 strokes. Some people had a rough day, but that's part of golf. Peter Jacobson once said, "One of the most fascinating things about golf is how it reflects the cycle of life. No matter what you shoot, the next day you have to go back to the first tee and begin all over again and make yourself into something." The golfer receiving the Coaches Award this year had ups and downs, and golf is exactly that. You have a great day, you have a horrible day, you have the worst hole of your life, and then you birdie the next one. He has been a real fun kid to have on a sports team. He's been a fun kid to have, period, in class as well. I am hoping that he continues to play golf after high school and maybe learns how to hit something besides his 7-iron. The Coaches Award this year goes to Chase Reset. The MVP of our team has led us since he was a freshman. I want to say maybe even since he was in 7th grade, because he might have been more mature than the seniors we had back then. This young man is exactly what I think of when I think about golf. Golf is a game that is supposed to be played with honor, and this kid just exudes everything that a golfer is. After every match, he'll talk about every single shot that he took, and then he'll talk about that shot again, and then he'll tell you what he should have done. 5 minutes later, he'll talk about it one more time. And he thinks about every single shot he takes over and over and over again, maybe too much, but really not, because for the first time in about 15 years, we had someone qualify for sectionals, and he did a great job, barely missing the cut. And he was also unanimously voted by all the coaches for the Sportsmanship Award in our division. Arnold Palmer says, "Golf is a deceptively simple and endlessly complicated. It satisfies the soul and frustrates the intellect. It is at the same time rewarding and maddening, and it is without a doubt the greatest game mankind has ever invented." I believe that to be true wholeheartedly, and I believe that this young man does as well. I'm going to miss you very much on the team. Quentin Herzog. Thank you to everybody. And up next we have Coach Ramos and Coach Simpson with the Ross Award.
The Ross Award is presented to the male and female athlete on the boys and girls soccer team with the highest average. The boys award, don't even turn around and sit down, Chase, is Chase Reset.
Congratulations to the girls soccer player with the highest academic average, Analia Carey.
The Ratner Award is presented to the Girls Basketball Scholar Athlete, and that is Alyssa Kevin.
Ethan, I see you ready to jump up. The Ratner Award goes to Ethan Warlock.
Alright, for our wrestling perseverance award, it goes to Zoe Kipp. She's not here, but this award goes to her because, like I said earlier, being the only female on a wrestling team, especially when wrestling is such a male-dominated sport, it's not tough. I mean, it is tough. But again, Zoe persevered, and yeah, this award goes to her.
The Kavaleski Awards are given for the boy and the girl with the highest average on the track team. The boys award goes to Chase Reset.
And the girls award goes to Katrina Blaze. Next up is Coach Phillips and Coach Frankie.
The Bucco family has long sponsored the MVP award for both softball and baseball. This year's award goes to a 3-year member of the varsity softball team and a 6-year member of our program. I remember I'm the stats guy, right? The award goes to Rebecca Phillips. Rebecca accounted for 27% of our team's runs individually by herself, and accounted for 24% of our team's total hits for the season. She led the team in 14 batting categories, and additionally ranked in the top 10 of several Section 9 statistic categories. So she just did tremendously at the plate this year. She also was our primary pitcher. She finished the season pitching a team high 77 innings while striking out 89 and leading the team in ERA. All this while working with an inexperienced team and just teaching them every day through both her example and her advice and her technical skill with the bat. So we're going to miss her next year. She's our only senior. And so this year's MVP award goes to Rebecca Phillips.
This year's Fred Bucom Most Valuable Player goes to Tanner Bird. season. Tanner finished with team highs in batting average, OPS, slugging hits, doubles, triples, and RBIs. He also had a really great year pitching for us and in the field as well. We look forward to Tanner's senior season.
Okay, now for the final 3 senior awards. These 3 awards go to seniors only. First is the Elizabeth Betty Totten Sportsmanship Award. You heard their coaches go on and on about them. I can do the same. Katrina Blaze and Quentin Herzog. I noticed another mistake on these awards. I'm gonna have to take care of that. So the Liberty Rotary Club Perseverance Award is given to 2 seniors who have persevered some sort of situation, whether it be in the classroom or at home, outside of school, inside of school, on the field, on the court, on the track, whatever it may have, whatever it may be. And our male Perseverance Award goes to Gabe DeRochers. And the female Perseverance Award goes to Daleen Marion Gosling. Just one thing. Before we wrap up with our outstanding senior athletes, male and female, I'd just like to thank everybody for coming tonight. My first time. We live and we learn, and hopefully we'll grow and get better, just as our sports programs will. We're going to have a slideshow at the end, so please stay tuned for that. And Daleen and Katrina, our wonderful senior athletes, student athletes, made the slideshow for us, so I hope you enjoyed that as well. And again, thank you to everybody for coming out tonight, and get home safely. Mr. Hamlin is going to present Coach Hamlin is going to present the Outstanding Senior Athlete Awards, as it is sponsored by his family.
Good evening. It is my honor to present the final award for this evening for the best senior athlete on behalf of my late great uncle, Thomas Joseph Kelly. This award is voted collectively by all the coaches sitting behind me. While in school, he excelled in both football and basketball here at Liberty High School. He went on to study at the University of Wisconsin at La Crosse, where he received All-American honors on its national championship football team. The Kelly, Whale, and Hamlin families are honored to give the Best Senior Male and Female Athlete Award to Alyssa Kavleski and Chase Brissett.
One last thing I forgot to mention is on Thursday, we get to go out to, is it Cools, I think? Yes. Cools out there, and, you know, where's, I don't know. You know, Cools Highland House, I believe it is. Anyway, there they present the Scholar Athlete Award for the OCIAA. And that is a culmination of things. It's not just the highest average. It's things, you know, the amount of sports they've played, the amount of letters they've received, and all sorts of things. And this year, you can just stand, you don't have to come up. It's Katrina Blaze and Ethan Werlau will be receiving those awards. So make sure you guys remember Thursday morning, 9 o'clock, and the families as well. All right, we're going to present the slideshow, and again, enjoy your evening, and thank you again for coming out for the awards.